Good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to be back at real estate after, serving a lot of time in metro authorities. So today I have selected a very humble topic, that is the effect of vocability on property values and investment returns for real estate. But it's not such a humble subject because many builders will say, अरे मैंने तो सेम किया था बट उसका माल क्यों बिक रहा है and my inventory is lying unsold. So a very well-known secret is walkability. So walkability actually makes economic sense for the builders because the property that they have created, it creates a higher demand because it is proximity to the amenities, and it brings commercial sense to the people and boosts local business. It brings reduced transportation cost. Now what it has for the builders is that in case people are spending less on transport, that means that they will have an expandable income which they are likely to spend on the consumer goods in the malls that the builders have provided near the housing. Now what happens to that is that, first of all, it's a resale value that goes up. And secondly, when the same builder puts up a new project, people will say कि इसके mall में income ज़्यादा होती, so it's better that if we buy there, if we have different options. Then there is the advantage of improved public health and productivity. Now this has two benefits कि जितने लोग कम बीमार होंगे उतना they will have more time and they will be spending less on health. So that is why they will have more time for entertainment as well as for spending their expandable incomes on recreation. And it is also good for tourism and hospitality, especially the people who have put up hotels and other such destination places. Not to mention enhanced social equity as well as, the CSR you get from, saving energy. So it does really make sense for real estate to make walkable societies because it allows infill development. It also allows you to go for re-densification and public space utilization. So can I have the paper because the whole thing is not coming here. Thank you. Because improving walkability has far-reaching economic benefits, including increased property values, boosted local business revenues, reduced transportation cost, and improved public health. So prioritizing walkability is a smart economic strategy by the builder as it leads to healthier, most prosperous, and urban ecosystem. So this walkability also has support from the researchers because the choice to live a walkable life generates considerable saving for the households, and that is why the creative class, the millennials, and the empty nesters, they prefer those societies which are supporting walkability. Some researchers forecast growing demand for walkable places because they support the developers' impression that there is a mismatch between the demand and the supply for pedestrian-friendly neighborhoods and the choices available to the consumer. A more recent study by Levine and Frank says that there is an undersupply of walkable societies, and there is this gap of supply is increasing day by day. Therefore, the builder, the market values and investment returns if demand for walkable places is growing and the currently exceeds supply, And if homes in a new neighborhood designed to promote walking sells at a premium, if access to school, banks, and shopping increase office and apartment rentals, and if land use mixing increases property value, then it seems that reasonable to hypothesize that walkability increase income and values both for the consumer as well as for the builder. Now we come to the brass tack that if the builder is convinced that yes, I have to go for a society which is walkable, then what he has to do? He has to give a design brief to the architect as well as to the planner, and this design brief has to go into the sale material that is produced by the company. So the important factors over there are accessibility. I'll just read 2 lines, these are important. The proximity of essential services and amenities such as shops, schools, parks, and public transportation, which makes walking a convenient option for the people living over there. Connectivity, a well-connected network of streets and pathways that provide direct and continuous routes for the pedestrians. The presence of safe pedestrian crossings, adequate lighting, low crime rate, which ensures safety of the walkers. The availability of wide street walks, shade from trees, street furniture, overall pleasant surroundings that enhance walking experience. Low traffic speeds, volume that reduce the likelihood of accident and making walking more enjoyable. And well-maintained sidewalks, pedestrian signals, and ramps. Now what we see over here is that the investment as compared to the total project is very less on the walkability, but its advantages are far more. On the other hand, if we see the metro agencies like ourselves, what we are fighting against in Gurgaon is poor sidewalks, insufficient crossings, encroachments, poor lighting, high traffic volumes, lack of traffic calming measures, accessibility, poor integration with other modes of transport, urban planning and policy issues, fragmented planning, limited investment. Fragmented planning is so important in Gurgaon. Different builders and authorities have come up with the societies at different point of view and they simply don't connect. Then how you promote walkability and induce model shift from car to metro? Then there is mixed land use. Now, these are the challenges which the development authorities are facing. And we will take these up one by one. However, there's a lot which the builders, planners, and developer can use to enhance walkability and help us in this regard. So, for example, the metro is only on the main road, but how do you make the commuter reach from their houses or from their workplace to the metro? That means that every builder, every authority will also have to work to enhance that. So some of the strategy which the builder will have to do is encourage diverse land uses, vertical mixing, sidewalks and pathways, crosswalks, pedestrian bridges and underpasses, narrow streets, traffic calming measures, complete streets, parks and plazas, universal design, wayfinding, grid layout, pedestrian shortcuts, lighting, surveillance, transit-oriented development, access to transit, streets, trees, green buffers, stakeholder involvement, public feedback, zoning laws and incentive for developers, and maintenance, which is the most important point. Because builders, they do make very good societies, but after some time, there is a deterioration in the maintenance of the infrastructure. So that is the point where we have to inbuilt into our sale strategy. So there are some of the things which the department will be working on, like improved infrastructure, traffic management, accessibility enhancement, policy and planning, public awareness, and enhanced security. So it is the builders and the developers who have their projects there. And here is the Metro Authority and other authorities combined together. If they work together, we will be able to transform a majorly car city like Gurgaon into a walkable city where we encourage people to shift from the car to the metro. So it's a very tall order because Gurgaon is not designed like that. But if Ahmedabad can do, where their walkability index has reached 0.85 on a scale of 1 in India, which is at third position, why Gurgaon can't do it? So under discussion, it is going to be one of the USPs of the new metros which are coming to Gurgaon, and we all want you people to work together. So at the end, I would like to, share this slide in which we have Mr. Jeff Speck, who is an advocate, who does the advocacy for walkable city. So I would request all builders to go through because it makes economic and financial sense to design their societies in such a way that it is walkable. I've also given the link of the numerous YouTube videos which are available so that the walkability is inbuilt by the builders into their project. So that is what I want to say. Thank you very much.